Cancer. Have you felt it? A strange weight in the air. The kind that presses softly against your chest. Not painful, but deep. Like something is whispering to you from behind the veil of reality. A name that echoes in your dreams. A memory that returns without invitation. A silence that somehow speaks louder than anything anyone has said to you lately. Maybe someone has recently disappeared from your life. Quietly. Abruptly. Without reason. Or maybe you found yourself crying without knowing why over a song, a scent, a flicker of light across your window at night. Let me tell you something very few people will dare to say out loud. This is not weakness. It's a spiritual awakening. And after the 18th of September, something extraordinary begins to stir for Cancer. This isn't just another astrological update. This is a transmission, a sacred message wrapped in lunar code and emotional electricity, meant only for souls like yours. Sensitive, psychic, sacred. You see, the universe doesn't choose just anyone for this kind of journey. But you, Cancer, you've been chosen to walk through a portal that doesn't open often. And when it does, it doesn't wait. Because when the moon, your ruling planet, your soul's mirror, enters this rare vibrational phase after the 18th of September, everything begins to shift. But not loudly, not publicly, not dramatically. It shifts inside of you. And that's why you've been feeling so much, so deeply. The universe is not breaking you down. It's breaking you open. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this energetic gateway means for you, Cancer. Not just emotionally, but financially, spiritually, karmically. We'll explore the sacred signs you've been seeing, like the numbers 222, 717, 808. We'll decode why certain people are pulling away from you, and why that's not abandonment, but protection. Most importantly, I'll guide you through a powerful ritual between the 18th of September and 20th that could activate your personal frequency for wealth, healing, and soul-aligned transformation for the next 7 years. But here's the truth. Not everyone will understand this message. Not everyone is ready. If you've made it here, something in your soul already knows this video isn't random. It found you. So before we begin, I want you to do 2 things with me. First, hit that like button and subscribe if your spirit is already buzzing with recognition. That small action is a signal to the universe. It tells the energy around you. I'm ready. Second, I want you to drop this sentence in the comments right now. After the 18th of September, I choose emotional wealth. Because when you write that, you're not just commenting, you're declaring, you're stepping into alignment, you're entering the gateway consciously. Now take a deep breath. Make yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee. Get somewhere quiet. Light a candle if you have one. Because what we're about to dive into isn't just information. It's a soul mirror, a lunar map, a sacred invitation from the universe that says, Cancer, it's time to remember who you were before the world told you to forget. Ready to find out what your heart has been trying to tell you, in whispers, in tears, in dreams? Then don't go anywhere, because what's coming next might change everything. Not everyone is called, but if you're here, Cancer, then you're not just watching this, you're remembering, because something ancient within you is beginning to stir. And no, it's not random, it's not imagination, it's the call, the soft echo of a divine invitation that only certain souls can hear. And you, sweet Cancer, are hearing it now, not with your ears, but with your heart. After the 18th of September, the moon, your cosmic mother, your soul's ruler, enters a phase the ancients once whispered about in temple walls and sacred books. It's called the memory illumination phase, a time when the moon stops reflecting the light of others and begins shining directly into your deepest, oldest truths. It's not about what's happening outside. It's about what's been waiting inside you all along. During this phase, your emotional body becomes a mirror. But not just to this lifetime. You start to feel emotions that don't seem to belong to your current story. You may cry without knowing why. Dream of people you haven't seen in years. Suddenly remember a moment from childhood that still holds your breath captive. This isn't emotional overload. It's soul retrieval. Your spirit is pulling back the parts of you that have been left behind. Across time, across pain, across timelines. You're not broken. You're becoming whole. And here's why this matters. Cancer, among all signs, you carry something no one else does. You are the sacred holder of emotional lineage. You don't just feel for yourself. You feel for your ancestors, for your family, for the people who never learned how to cry, never got to speak their truth, never healed their grief. And now, after the 18th of September, the universe has chosen you to end the cycle. You are not here to carry the wound anymore. You are here to transform it into wisdom. So if you've been feeling like something is ending, it's because something island, but what's coming next isn't emptiness, it's clarity. What's falling away is not who you are. It's who you were taught to be to survive. And what's rising is breathtaking. You may have noticed, you're more sensitive now. Even your silence feels louder. You can walk into a room and sense the unspoken. You know when someone's lying, even before they open their mouth. You feel vibrations, not just words. That's not weakness, Cancer. That's your superpower. Your soul is tuning in, not out. And that's exactly why this phase after the 18th of September is so rare, so sacred, and so aligned with you. Because when the moon activates memory, it also activates magic, hidden gifts, intuitive upgrades, emotional codes that have been dormant for years, waiting for this moment, waiting for you to be ready. And you are. This is your calling, Cancer. You didn't find this video by mistake. So the only question now is, are you ready to stop carrying the pain of the past and start rewriting the future of your soul? Because what comes next will not just change your story, it will set your entire bloodline free. Have you noticed it too? The numbers, the dreams, the way a single lyric from an old song can bring you to tears, even when everything around you seems fine. The way your heart flutters when you see a certain time on the clock. The way you suddenly feel like you're not alone, even when there's no one in the room. Let me tell you something most people will miss. These are not coincidences. These are codes. The universe doesn't always speak in thunder. Sometimes it whispers in repetition, in rhythm, in sacred patterns meant only for the awakened to hear. And Cancer, you more than most were born with the ears to hear it. If you've been seeing 222 lately, over and over again, that is no accident. 222 is a divine signal. Your soul, your emotions, and your intuition are realigning. It's the balance number. It tells you, you're not imagining things. You're syncing. You're returning to emotional truth. Cancer, when your inner and outer world begin to mirror each other, it means one thing. You're no longer living a life designed by fear. You're becoming the architect of alignment. Now, what about 333? This is a sacred frequency. The number of generational healing, of completing soul contracts passed down through the bloodline. If you've been seeing this number, it means your soul is actively rewriting pain that didn't even begin with you. The shame, the silence, the scarcity, it's not yours to keep. And the universe is telling you, you're doing it. You're healing the line. It might come in the form of strange emotional waves crying out of nowhere, feeling grief that doesn't have a name, waking up from dreams that shake you. This isn't instability. This is purification. The tears of your soul are being cleansed. You are becoming light enough to carry your future. Now let's talk about 808. This number is a portal, an energetic nudge from the universe to redefine your relationship with abundance and family legacy. The 8 represents infinity, wealth, energetic flow. The 0 is divine reset. When paired together, 808 is your cosmic invitation to break toxic patterns around money, safety, and belonging. You might find yourself suddenly reviewing old habits, questioning how you were raised, to think about success, security, or self-worth. You may feel drawn to create something new, something that finally honors your truth, not just your survival. Cancer. These numbers don't follow you by chance. They're summoned by your vibration. They appear when your soul is ready to receive new instructions. And if you've made it this far, I want to say this to you clearly. You are ready. That lump in your throat when you hear a certain melody. That's not weakness, it's memory. That shiver in your chest when a person's name flashes through your mind. That's not longing. It's closure. That dream of someone from your past. That's not random. It's your soul showing you what you've finally outgrown. You're being asked to feel it all, not to drown in it, but to alchemize it. Because only when you fully acknowledge the weight can you release it. And that's exactly what this phase is doing for you. Cancer, you're not being flooded. You're being freed. So the next time you see those numbers 222, 333, 808, pause. Breathe. Speak softly to yourself. I see the signs. I accept the shift. I trust the guidance. End of www. Because when you say that, you're not just speaking. You're signaling to the universe that you're not just awake. You're aware. And awareness is the beginning of manifestation. Now stay close. Because in the next part of our journey, we're going to dive deeper into the emotional purging you've been experiencing and why the loss, the silence, and the loneliness you've felt recently are actually signs of sacred alignment. You're not being abandoned, Cancer. You're being positioned. You've carried so much in your heart, haven't you, Cancer? The kind of weight that doesn't show on your face but sits quietly in your chest, like a secret no one else can see. Silent sadness. Unspoken memories, love that was never returned, dreams that you folded and tucked away so others could feel safe. You've always been the protector, the nurturer, the one who holds the emotional center when everything else falls apart. But now something is different. After the 18th of September, the moon, your cosmic ruler, shifts into what ancient mystics once called the memory light. A rare, energetic phase when forgotten soul fragments begin to stir. And suddenly, you're not just remembering, you're reliving, but not to suffer again. You're being invited to release, to return home to yourself. Because the truth is, you've carried enough, you've done enough. And now, Cancer, it's time to set it down. During the sacred window from the 18th of September to 20th, the universe opens a portal just for you, a portal not of sound, but of feeling. It doesn't scream, it hums softly in the background of your awareness, pulling you closer to a moment that could change everything. This is not just a ritual, it's a reunion between your soul and your future. And when the night feels still and your heart feels ready, you'll know it's time. Light a white candle, or if you can, sit beneath the moon. Let the light wrap around you like silk. Close your eyes. Let the noise of the world fade until all that's left is you. Then take a single sheet of paper. Hold it gently. This is not just paper. This is the page where your transformation begins. Write 3 lines, not from your mind, but from your soul. The first, I am ready to release. And then write the name, the fear, the memory, the ache, Whatever you've been holding that is no longer yours to carry, set it free, gently, honestly. Finally, the second, I choose to believe in. What truth do you want to walk in now? Your intuition? Your healing? The knowing that you are more than enough exactly as you are. Anchor it, declare it. And the third, I now invite into my life. Speak your desires without shame. Peace, love, financial abundance, miracles that don't require struggle, doors that open without begging, a soft life that doesn't need to be earned through pain. Let your hand speak for your soul. Once your words are down, place one coin on the paper. This is your energetic signature for prosperity. Then find something that represents home, your center. Maybe it's a shell, maybe it's a piece of moonstone, or even just a small drawing of your dream house or safe space. Lay it gently on top. Now, fold the paper slowly, intentionally, with both hands. As you do, imagine every piece of energy you've been leaking, finally coming back to you. Then, hold the folded paper to your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Feel how alive you are. Feel how real this island. And when you're ready, either place it in a sacred space or burn it carefully in silence. Watch the smoke rise like a message to the stars, and with a whisper that carries centuries of healing speak, I forgive, I trust, I receive. That's it. You've just rewritten your vibration. And even if nothing looks different yet, everything has changed. This isn't just a spiritual practice. It's a soul contract. The universe heard you. The energy is already moving. You might not see the result today, but soon signs will begin to appear. An unexpected message. A new opportunity. Money that flows in effortlessly. A feeling of lightness you can't explain. That's not luck. That's alignment. You've made space. And now the blessings are making their way back to you. So breathe, Cancer. You've done something powerful. Something sacred. You didn't just let go. You made room for the life you were always meant to live. They left, didn't they? Quietly. Suddenly. Sometimes with no warning, no closure. No explanation. Just gone. And your heart, the one that always loved deeply, probably asked the question over and over again. Was it something I did? Was I too much? Not enough? But Cancer, breathe. Let me tell you something that will soothe your soul like moonlight on open water. They didn't leave because you were unworthy. They left because your frequency changed. After the 18th of September, a subtle but powerful shift began inside of you. Your energy, once wide open, gentle, absorbing, has started to refine, to filter, and not because you're bitter, but because you're evolving. You are no longer the safe harbor for everyone else's storms. You are no longer the emotional bandage for people who refuse to heal. The universe has been quietly reprogramming your energetic field, and it's now beginning to repel chaos. This isn't rejection. This is protection. You see, Cancer, many of the people who once gravitated to you weren't drawn to your light. They were drawn to your warmth, your softness, your willingness to hold pain that wasn't yours, to soothe wounds that were never yours to heal. And now that you've reclaimed your emotional center, those same souls can no longer feel at home in your presence. Not because you're cold, but because you've stopped offering yourself as a shelter. It's not personal. It's vibrational. Your heart used to bend for others. Now it stands. Your intuition used to whisper warnings you ignored. Now it leads. You used to silence your own needs, just to keep the peace. But after the shift, you've chosen something far more radical. Peace within yourself. And that kind of peace, it creates ripples. People who haven't faced their own chaos will feel uncomfortable around you now. They'll say, "You've changed. that you're distant, that you're different, and you are. You're no longer available for the emotional ping-pong. You're no longer explaining, overcompensating, absorbing blame, just to maintain connection. You're vibrating on a new level now, and not everyone can follow. Some will quietly exit. Some will disappear mid-sentence. Some will drift like fog when the sun finally rises, and while your old self might have chased after them, begged for answers, demanded closure, the new you simply whispers, "I understand, and I release you with love," because now, you know, not every absence is a punishment. Some are divine redirections. The people who are leaving right now are not the foundation of your future. They were chapters, lessons, mirrors, but not your forever. And the more you cling to what's trying to exit, the longer you delay what's meant to arrive. So if someone has pulled away recently without warning, without reason, let them. Not with anger, but with grace. Because your soul sent out a signal, "I am ready for something higher." And the universe, in response, began clearing the room for your next level. Cancer, you're not being abandoned. You're being elevated. And in this elevation, something magical begins to happen. You no longer attract those who need your energy. You begin to align with those who match it. People who meet you in your stillness, who honor your sensitivity, not exploit it, who see your depth, not as something to be fixed, but as something to be respected. So let the doors close. Let the chapters end. Let the silence stretch. Because soon, new voices will enter your life. Voices that don't need to be convinced of your value. They'll feel it, instantly, because their frequency will match the new one you're emitting. Calm, clear, powerful, soft, but never again sacrificial. This is the cost of growth. Not everyone gets to come with you, but this is also the gift of alignment. Those who remain are the ones truly meant to walk beside you in this new life you're about to claim. And trust me, that life, it's not just coming. It's already unfolding. There's something different about you now, Cancer. It's not loud. It's not showy. But it's undeniable. You no longer explain yourself. You no longer beg to be understood. Because the truth is, you've finally remembered. Your peace is your power. There was a time when you used to shrink to make others comfortable. You held your tongue just to avoid tension. You ignored your intuition just to preserve the illusion of harmony. You said yes, even when your soul screamed no. But something happened, didn't it? After the 18th of September, the tides within you shifted. The emotional ocean that once carried everyone else's weight finally turned inward. And in that stillness, something ancient awakened. This is the new Cancer. Quiet but unshakable. Soft but no longer silent. You're not here to be everyone's emotional sponge anymore. You're not here to fix, to please, to make everyone else's pain more bearable at the cost of your own truth. You've stepped out of the role of peacekeeper and into the role of energy alchemist. Now, your intuition isn't just a whisper you ignore. It's a compass you follow. You don't walk into rooms hoping to be accepted. You walk in already knowing that your energy is the calibration point. Your silence speaks louder than words. Your presence resets the tone. You no longer chase opportunities, relationships, or validation because the right ones now find their way to you. Not because you've become cold, but because your frequency has become undeniably magnetic. This is the most dangerous kind of transformation. Not one that screams, but one that glows. The new you doesn't argue, doesn't prove, doesn't justify, because your alignment now speaks for you. And those who can't meet you there, they simply fall away, not out of malice, but because the resonance is no longer there. You're no longer ruled by logic alone. You're no longer stuck in the overthinking spiral that once kept you up at night. Now, you make decisions from a place deeper than thought. You move with energetic precision. You choose based on how something feels in your body, in your spirit, not on how it looks on paper. Because your body knows. Your soul knows. And when you trust that knowing, you become unstoppable. You're not reacting anymore, you're creating. Not performing, you're embodying. This is how your new reality begins. Not through force, not through strategy, but through subtle shifts in your emotional field. You don't need to scream your desires into the universe. You simply need to vibrate at the frequency of them. And when you do, everything that once felt distant begins to move toward you. The money, the peace, the aligned love, the clarity, the opportunities, the home that finally feels like home, not just externally, but within yourself. Cancer, you've become the calm after the storm, but don't confuse that calm with emptiness. Because this new silence, it's the sound of power settling into place. So if you've felt more quiet lately, more internal, more sure of yourself even without a plan, trust that. You're not lost. You're not stagnant. You're realigning with the version of you who no longer needs to apologize for being powerful in her softness. You've crossed a threshold, and from this point on, you don't move through the world by force. You move through it with gravitational grace. This is your new era, Cancer, and what's coming next is a reality shaped entirely by your alignment, not your approval. You've done the inner work, Cancer. You've released. You've realigned. You've stopped betraying your truth just to belong. And now, something beautiful begins to unfold almost invisibly, yet deeply felt. Because here's a secret the universe only reveals to the few who are truly ready. When you stop abandoning yourself, the universe stops holding back. After the 18th of September, a new current begins to flow in your life. It doesn't arrive with fireworks or noise. It doesn't demand your attention. It whispers. It invites. It shows up in moments that feel like coincidences, but aren't. An unexpected message. A sudden offer. A stranger who speaks words your soul needed to hear. A feeling of peace that lands in your chest like sunlight through a storm. That's not random. That's realignment. That's the new wealth frequency beginning to activate. Because Cancer, wealth isn't just about money. It's about resonance. And now that your energy field has cleared the chaos, your vibration is pulling in exactly what matches your highest self. Financial opportunities that feel good, not draining, not manipulative. Relationships built not on survival or need, but on soul-based alignment. Emotional healing that doesn't come from pushing, but from simply allowing. This is the era of receiving. And you don't need to hustle, chase, or overthink. You just need to stay open. You'll notice this shift in the small things first. Your body begins to feel lighter. People speak to you differently. You stop tolerating what drains you, and miraculously, those things stop showing up. You begin to crave stillness over noise, truth over comfort, alignment over approval. And without realizing it, you begin to attract. Money flows in from places you never expected. Support arrives the moment you think you need it. A chance meeting opens a new door. These are not isolated miracles. They are responses. The universe is responding to the message your soul has finally dared to send. I am ready to receive. And you are. You are ready not just for any life, but for the life that feels like home. The career that aligns with your emotional genius. The relationship where you are cherished, not just needed. The kind of abundance that doesn't require burnout to earn. All of this begins now. You don't need to perform to prove your worth anymore. You don't need to mold yourself to fit the old containers. You've evolved beyond them, And now the universe is reshaping the world around you to reflect that inner evolution. So don't be surprised if what once fit suddenly feels small. Don't be shocked if you wake up one day and realize you've outgrown the life you were once desperate to hold on to. It means the new one is arriving, and all you have to do is stay open. So the next time you see a repeating number, 222, 888, 1111, pause, breathe, smile. It's not just numerology, it's communication. The universe is speaking in the language of energy now. And you, Cancer, are finally fluent. You don't need to do more. You just need to be. Be honest. Be still. Be receptive. Be present. And everything meant for you will begin to find its way. This is the frequency of wealth. Not loud, not forced, but steady, magnetic, undeniable, and it's flowing now through you. So now, dear Cancer, take a deep breath. Not just any breath, but one that lands in the sacred part of you that always knew this moment would come. Because what you've just heard wasn't just a video, it was a message, a mirror, a memory being reawakened in the depths of your soul. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were called, and now you remember why. You were never meant to walk through life feeling too much, loving too deeply, or hoping too quietly. You were meant to feel everything for. That's where your power lives. And after the 18th of September, something within you has shifted. The parts of you that once apologized for needing space, for desiring more, for sensing energies others didn't even notice, are now rising with calm certainty. You're no longer here to survive in silence. You're here to lead with intuition, to attract through stillness, to create a life so aligned it feels like coming home to yourself. And now that your frequency is tuned, the universe will not withhold. The peace, the love, the financial flow, it's not a fantasy. It's a reflection of the internal order you've begun to embody. And if your heart nodded through every word of this journey, then let the universe hear you. Right now in the comments write, after 9/18, I no longer cling to the past. I choose healing and receiving. Or, if you feel it stronger in your bones, I am Cancer, and I choose peace as the foundation for my wealth. These aren't just words, they're soul-level declarations, and they ripple further than you know. If this video touched you, warmed you, woke something up inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, subscribe, tap the bell, so the next time the stars shift, you're already in the know. And if you know another Cancer who needs to hear this, send it their way. You might be the one mirror they've been waiting for. If you feel called to support this space of healing and high frequency, consider leaving a super thanks. Your energy, your presence, your offering helps us continue spreading this light across the globe. It's a transmission you won't want to miss. Check the description below for your special gift, a tool to help you anchor your abundance starting tonight. And, before we part, I want to ask you one last thing. What part of your journey, your birth chart, or your inner world do you want us to explore in the next video? Tell me in the comments. This channel isn't just about astrology, it's about you. You are not here to dim. You are not here to blend in. You are here to glow, to grow, and to create a life rich with meaning, beauty, and aligned prosperity. You are worthy. You are divine. And you deserve a life that feels like magic. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.